Come closer tonight. I'd like to tell you about a little boy whose greatest fear was not failing an exam or being laughed at by his classmates. His greatest fear was hearing the simple words, "Bring your father tomorrow." Every child dreams of seeing their parents smile with pride. But for this boy, Parents' Day felt more like a trial than a celebration. His name was Daniel. Quiet, respectful, always prepared. The kind of student every teacher wished for. He never caused trouble. He studied hard. He helped his classmates whenever he could. And every report card was filled with excellent grades. One afternoon, just a few minutes before the final bell, their teacher adjusted her glasses, looked around the classroom and smiled. "Don't forget," she said. "Tomorrow is Parents' Day. I want every one of you to come with your mother or your father. No excuses this time." The classroom instantly filled with excitement. Children whispered happily to one another. Some were already planning what they would wear. Others laughed, wondering whether their parents would embarrass them. Then the teacher looked directly at Daniel. She smiled warmly. "Daniel, I hope your father comes this time. You've been making excuses for him for far too long. You have nothing to worry about. Your parents should be proud of you." Before Daniel could answer, the school bell rang. The classroom exploded with noise. Books slammed shut. Chairs scraped across the floor. Within seconds, everyone had rushed outside. Everyone except Daniel. He remained sitting quietly, staring at his desk. The teacher noticed. "Daniel, are you feeling all right?" He forced a small smile. "Yes, ma'am. You don't seem yourself today." She paused, then spoke gently. "Please make sure your father comes tomorrow. He deserves to hear how proud we are of you." Daniel opened his mouth. "My father," but the teacher had already walked away. The words never left his lips. As he slowly walked home, only one sentence echoed inside his mind. "Please make sure your father comes tomorrow." If only she knew. If only she understood why those words hurt more than anything else. The road home felt longer than usual. Every step carried the same silent prayer. "Please let Dad be sober today. Just this once." When Daniel reached home, he found his mother quietly sweeping the yard. She smiled when she saw him, but the smile couldn't hide the bruise beneath her eye. It had turned a deep shade of purple. Daniel lowered his head. He knew exactly where it had come from. He wanted to ask if she was all right, but he already knew the answer. "Has Dad come home yet?" he asked softly. His mother stopped sweeping. "For what?" she sighed. "So he can shout again. So he can break something else." She tried to sound angry, but Daniel heard something else: exhaustion. After a long silence, he gathered enough courage to ask, "Tomorrow is Parents' Day. Our teacher asked everyone to bring their mother or father. Will you come?" His mother looked away. Then she touched the bruise near her eye. "How can I stand in front of your teacher looking like this? I don't want anyone to see me this way." Daniel said nothing. His heart grew heavier. For a moment the little house became completely silent. Then suddenly a loud voice shattered the evening. "Open the door." The shouting came from outside, followed by the sound of someone stumbling against the gate. Daniel froze. His mother closed her eyes. Neither of them needed to ask who it was. His father had come home, and from the sound of his voice, he wasn't coming home alone. Alcohol had arrived before him. His mother slowly walked toward the door. Daniel remained where he was, barely breathing. Every visit began the same way, and somehow each one ended worse than the last. He wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for his mother. The front door creaked open. His father stumbled inside, barely able to keep his balance. The smell of alcohol filled the little house before he spoke a single word. His mother tried to help him, but he pushed her hand away. I don't need your help. His voice was loud, sharp, unsteady. The kind of voice that made the walls themselves feel smaller. You've been drinking again, his mother whispered. Please not tonight. Her words only made him angrier. He stepped closer. His hands tightened into fists. Daniel's heart began to race. He had seen this before. Too many times. Then it happened. A single blow. His mother fell against the wall. For a moment everything became silent. Daniel could hear nothing except the sound of his own heartbeat. Without thinking, he ran to her. He wrapped his small arms around her, trying to protect her with a body far too small for such a burden. Then he turned toward his father. His eyes filled with tears. His lips trembled. Dad, he whispered. Please, please don't drink anymore. We don't need anything else. We don't need more money. We don't need new clothes. I just want my father back. His father stared at him. For a brief second the anger in his eyes seemed to fade, but only for a moment. He shoved the boy aside. Don't tell me how to live, he shouted. I'm your father. Daniel fell to the floor. The tears he had been holding back finally broke free. He cried not because he had been pushed, not because he was afraid. He cried because the man standing before him no longer looked like the father he remembered. That night Daniel barely slept. He lay awake staring into the darkness. Tomorrow every child would walk into school holding a parent's hand. And tomorrow he would have to face the same question again. Where is your father? Morning came quietly. Daniel put on his school uniform, picked up his warm backpack, and stood by the door. His mother looked at him, her eyes filled with sorrow. I'm sorry, she whispered. I can't go. Daniel forced a small smile. It's all right, ma'am. I understand. But inside his heart felt heavier than ever. He walked to school alone. Around him other children laughed, holding their parents' hands. Some walked beside their fathers. Others proudly introduced their mothers to their teachers. Daniel lowered his eyes and quietly kept walking. By the time he arrived, the meeting had already begun. He stopped outside his classroom. He wanted to go in, but he couldn't. His feet refused to move, so he stood there hidden behind the door listening. Then he heard his teacher's voice. Is Daniel's family here today? Silence. She asked once more. Has anyone come for Daniel? A quiet voice answered. No, no one came. For a brief moment the room fell silent. Then the teacher smiled and began to speak. I was hoping to thank his parents. Daniel is one of the finest students in this school. He is kind, respectful, hardworking. He never gives us trouble. Any mother or father would be proud to call him their son. We are deeply grateful to the parents who raised such a wonderful child. Outside the classroom Daniel stood alone. Tears rolled silently down his face. He wanted to walk inside. He wanted to tell his teacher, my parents love me. My mother wanted to come. My father, he wasn't always like this. But no words came. Only tears. The old storyteller slowly closes his book. The lantern beside him flickers softly. He looks into the quiet night and says, my friend, not every child who walks to school alone is truly alone. Some carry dreams, some carry fear, and some carry burdens far too heavy for such small shoulders. He pauses. If you are a parent, never forget your children are watching. They may not remember every word you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. The old man gently smiles. And sometimes the greatest heroes are the children who keep loving, even when love is the hardest thing to do. The lantern glows warmly. Until our lantern shines again, take care.